Are you a Canadian who's interested in investing in US real estate? There are a lot of advantages, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through what those are and also some important, really key points to watch out for. So make sure you hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss more videos about building your wealth through multifamily real estate. I'm Seth Ferguson. Let's get right into it and talk about investing in US real estate for Canadians. And to start things off, I thought it would be good to highlight three main reasons why somebody might be interested in investing in US real estate, especially if you're Canadian. And we've got Triceratops from last week, and now Triceratops has been joined by a friend. I can see this turning into quite the zoo over the next couple weeks or so. So reason number one, why would somebody want to invest in US real estate, especially if they're from Canada? Well, reason number one is scale. The US is a behemoth, a juggernaut, whichever word you want to use, and whichever metric you want to measure it by, whether it's population or GDP, real GDP, it doesn't really matter. The US dwarfs Canada. So if Canada's this little dot right here, the US is this giant sun. It's like the sun compared to the earth. There is no comparison. So if you're looking to get into the biggest capitalist market on the planet right now, this is why somebody might be looking to place their capital in the US. Just the scale of the market, the scale of the opportunity. And we look at the size of Canadian cities, and then we look at the scale of American cities. There are so many large cities or larger cities above that $1 million population mark in the US. So much more opportunity. Number two, laws. If you are from Ontario or BC, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to landlord-tenant laws. BC and Ontario are very skewed heavily in the tenant's favor, much to the detriment of the product the tenants are receiving, much to the detriment of affordability when it comes to rents. I could get going for hours. We talk about this on my TV show all the time. But when we look south of the border, we have many more states that are, you could call it more landlord friendly, where you have more control and the government keeps their fingers out of the supply and the product, which is purpose-built rental real estate. So laws, if you're struggling right now in Ontario and in BC, it might make sense to look across the border and take advantage of those more landlord-friendly laws out there. Number three is tax laws, or we can call it just taxes. The US tax code is very different from the Canadian one as it relates to real estate, and the entity holding the real estate in the US, depending on the types of structuring you use and all that sort of stuff, can take advantage of accelerated depreciation laws, cost segregation, then accelerating that, putting it on steroids. And I'll put a link right up here to a video I did explaining all about cost segregation and how that impacts your real estate investment. And I said I had three reasons. Well, I'm just going to throw in a bonus fourth reason is product. Because we have a different climate in the US, we have a different type of product. All year swimming in Canada, that's not going to happen. But in some US markets, you can have a pool that's being used most of the year. In Canada, you've got a handful of months that you can use a pool, especially if you're in a garden style type of property, which I tend to like. I really like the garden style asset type. If you do that in Canada and you have an outdoor pool, even though it's heated, yeah, you might squeeze out a couple extra months, but that's not going to be enjoyed all year round. So then you have to weigh the cost benefit of that. But in select US markets, depending on where you go, the weather's a whole lot different. There's pros and cons to the weather patterns that they experience, and you'll have to weigh that for yourself. But you can say goodbye to heavy snowfall if that's something that you're interested in looking into. So different product types, that's definitely something that can be interesting for you as a Canadian looking at US real estate, especially on the multifamily side. Now let's talk about two really key important things to consider if you are a Canadian looking to invest in US real estate. But before I get into that, if you are interested in learning more about investing in US real estate as a Canadian, I have a free webinar, a free web class called Investing in US Real Estate for Canadians. I put this on with Lori Keatley, my friend, who is a cross-border tax specialist. It's about an hour and 15 minutes, totally free, and we have jam-packed it full of really good information. So go to discovermultifamily.com/4-Canadians. We'll put the link right on here and right down below this video. Check it out. It will be the best 75 minutes you will spend if you are looking at investing in U.S. real estate. So 2 things you have to watch out for, and we go into these in far more detail on the web class. So number 1 is structuring. And when we talk about structuring, if you're looking at U.S. real estate in general or reading about it, you will hear the term LLC thrown around a lot. And an LLC is an entity that you can use to own your real estate. There's many benefits if you are American. The problem is CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, does not play well with LLCs. So we do not get credit for the tax we paid in the US with the LLC because CRA says, hey, listen, like we don't have anything similar. We're not going to accept that. So what happens? You pay double tax. And double tax is probably the worst thing. Is like nails on a chalkboard for real estate investors. So definitely check out the web class and we'll explain all about LLCs and what to do. So what you want to do is actually use something called an LP, a limited partnership. And now this is very different from a limited partnership when we're talking about the syndication structure. We have the general partnership, limited partnership. This limited partnership is different. We will make sure it's crystal clear, clear as mud for you on the web class. So this is crucial. I talk to so many people. It's almost a couple every month where they're Canadian and they've set up an LLC before they knew anything. They just read something on the internet and they have made this mistake and they've set themselves up for a pretty rude awakening. So if I can tell you anything, talk to a cross-border tax specialist or watch this web class before you do anything involved with LLCs. And it doesn't matter whether you're owning the property yourself through an entity or if you're investing in a syndication or a fund. This is crucial for you as a Canadian. And the second thing I want to touch on in this video is something called withholding tax. Now, a lot of Canadians, when they hear about this, they get kind of queasy and they get a little bit nervous. All this really is, okay, so your money's in the US. The US government wants to make sure that you're paying your tax that you owe them. Nobody's going to argue that. So what they do is they actually withhold a portion of that to make sure the taxes get paid. You file your paperwork. There's a special form you fill out, and then any excess money is released to you. That's all that happens. It's basically the US government ensuring that you pay them what they are owed. And then as long as you structure everything correctly, you get credit for that and you don't get double banged for tax. The reason the US government does this is you are in Canada, and if you don't pay them their money, they can't really come after you. They can't really come up and arrest you or do anything like that. So they want to make sure that the tax is paid ahead of time. So that's why they have the withholding tax. So it's just a matter of educating yourself about the process and just learning more about what goes into investing in US real estate as a Canadian. So like I said on the web class, it's far more detailed than what I can go into here in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I try and keep these videos very short because that's what you guys enjoy watching. The metrics speak for themselves. In summary here, why would you want to invest in the US? Well, we have this huge scale of it. We have better laws depending on the state. Just don't talk about California. We have different tax laws and we have different product types available. And structuring, this is huge. I'm going to underline this a whole bunch. Structuring so important for you, and then just understanding the withholding taxes. So check out that web class I have, discovermultifamily.com/4-Canadians. I'll put the link right on the bottom here and below this video. Check it out. And if you are interested in learning more about investing in multifamily real estate, join my free Facebook group. I'll put the link right down below here. And if you like this video, if you found this useful, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. It really helps out the channel. And until next time, happy investing.